This is the Everyday AI Show, the everyday podcast where we simplify AI and bring its power to your fingertips. Listen daily for practical advice to boost your career, business, and everyday life.
One of the most important AI-powered tools that you use might not be ChatGPT or Midjourney or all of these other tools that we talk about all the time. It might actually be your browser. All right. And I'm going to tell you my AI browser of choice and the surprising ways that you can use it too. All right. I'm excited for today's show. What's going on, y'all? My name's Jordan Wilson, and this is Everyday AI. Welcome. This is the place where we all come together to learn generative AI, to grow our careers. So whether you're listening on the podcast, the live stream, or our free daily newsletter, we appreciate your support. And as always, make sure to go to youreverydayai.com to sign up for that free daily newsletter. So yeah, every single day we recap our show with a lot more insights in that free daily newsletter. So make sure that you go and check it out. All right. So with that, let's get going and let's talk about what's happening in the world of AI news. Yeah, we start this off our show every single day with what's happening in the AI news. And we'll be recapping this in the newsletter as well. So let's go ahead and talk about what you need to know. All right. So, well, the future of the military might be AI-powered robots. So retired Army General Mark Milley predicted that within 10 to 15 years, up to a third of the U.S. military could be robotic and AI-powered. So speaking at an Axios event, Milley highlighted the rapid developments in artificial intelligence and unmanned technology as key drivers of the future of the military. So he noted that the nature of war remains rooted in human politics and organized violence, while the character of war, including tactics and technologies, is experiencing a fundamental shift. So he compared the current technological shift to historical changes like the transition from muskets to rifles during the Civil War. So Milley acknowledged the ethical concerns behind, so much kind of AI-powered and robotics-powered, highlighting the human need to bring a more moral framework to decision-making in warfare. All right, next, but definitely not least, I've been waiting for this one. What has taken so long? But Google's Gemini AI integration has finally integrated and expanded into workspace apps. So Google has finally rolled out additional Gemini AI features for its workspace apps, enhancing productivity and collaboration. So the Gemini side panel, interesting, is now available in Gmail, Google Drive, Docs, Sheets, and Slides, offering a suite of built-in AI tools. A little late though, Google. So this was announced at the I/O 2024 Developers Conference, and these updates are part of Google's continuous efforts to improve the workspace experience with AI. So admins can enable this and beta test this across the Gemini extensions for Gmail and Drive, providing flexible control over data privacy and feature access. We'll probably be doing a quick little 5-minute review of that, so make sure to check out the newsletter for that. All right. And our last piece of AI news, Apple's public beta has unveiled and been released with a lot of new AI features on the horizon. So Apple has released public betas for iOS 18, iPad OS 18, and Mac OS Sequoia with a lot of new AI features. Some of those new AI features, we covered them on the show here before, but Apple Intelligence, those AI features will be available in future betas for iPhone 15 Pro, Pro Max, and M1 and newer Macs and iPad. This comes right at the same time where Apple's shares just hit a record high after Morgan Stanley raised its price target, citing the company's new AI technology, Apple Intelligence, as a key driver for increased device sales. The AI push aims to compete with Google and Microsoft-backed OpenAI, encouraging customer upgrades. Yeah, so we'll see if people are actually upgrading in order to take advantage of all these new features. All right. Let's get into it. Well, I actually need to call this out. We were supposed to have a different show today, but our live streaming software was being a little weird. So we are going to be doing this probably next week. So our $1,000 live challenge. So if you know ChatGPT or large language models better than everyone else, you got to tune in live for that contest. I apologize. We were supposed to have that today, but we had some technical errors. We couldn't get it scheduled. So make sure to tune in and stay tuned to the newsletter for when we actually launch that. But let's just get into the AI-powered browser of choice and how you can use it. So without further ado, that browser of choice is Microsoft Edge. Yeah, it's almost like a dirty little secret. And let me tell you this. I've been helplessly or hopelessly addicted to Chrome for a decade or longer. And I think that Chrome has been a leader in the browser world. But here's what you need to know about Microsoft Edge. And here's my hot take for today on Hot Take Tuesday, right? We're going to keep it a little tame today. But if you are not using Microsoft Edge, you are legit missing out. Okay. I'm just telling you that right now. If you're not using Microsoft Edge, you are missing out. Yeah. There's no more Internet Explorer, right? So if you aren't sure, like, oh, what's Microsoft Edge? Maybe you've been like me. Maybe you've been using Chrome and you don't even pay attention to other browsers, or maybe you're on Apple devices or a Mac and you just use Safari and you don't really know what else is out there, right? So I'd say for the most part, there's been 4 main browsers, over the past decade or so. There's been Internet Explorer. There's been Firefox. There's been Chrome. And then there's been Safari. Okay. So about almost 2 years ago, Microsoft stopped supporting Internet Explorer. And I think a lot of people were grateful, right? I don't think people liked Internet Explorer, even though it was one of the most popular mainstream browsers. So they replaced, kind of quote unquote, replace Internet Explorer with Microsoft Edge. And I have to tell you this, Microsoft Edge is amazing. And one of the reasons why is, well, there's a couple of reasons why, but it is based on Chromium. That's my personal reason that I like it. So what that means is Chrome has essentially an open sourced version of their browser that they allow other people to build off of. And that's what Microsoft has done. So it's based on Chromium. And why that's important. If you are like me and you love Chrome, I literally have a Chrome extension that manages my Chrome extensions. I've used thousands of them. All my bookmarks, everything, it can be ported over, right? So Microsoft Edge can look and feel just like you're using Chrome. Bring over all of your existing extensions, your bookmarks, and everything. So it's fantastic in that regard. So also, I will say, it is constantly being updated now. And it is probably, I would say, the leader in being an AI-first browser. All right. So let me tell you why you should use it. Well, the easiest and the best use case, and we're going to go over that live today. So everyone, yeah, like Jay, who's saying gasp, right? Like gasp. Oh my gosh, you don't use Chrome all the time. Yeah, Edge. Yeah, people are shocked. Y'all are sleeping on Microsoft Edge. I'm going to show you a couple of things. We're going to be doing some things live. But I'm curious. I'm curious also for our live stream audience. What is your favorite browser? What browser do you use? But here's why you should be using it. It's because of the built-in browser Copilot. Yes, even if you are not on a paid Microsoft Copilot account, you have so many extremely powerful GPT-4 powered features in browser. Okay, and that's really how I started the beginning of the show, saying the most important AI tool you use might not be, right, a ChatGPT or a Gemini or a Perplexity or a Midjourney. It might not be any of those. It might literally be the browser that you choose. Because actually, the browser that you choose and the AI features that it contains kind of out of the box, I think are going to be just as impactful as wherever you go out and do your work or whatever large language model you use. Because if you talk about how you can make the biggest jump in becoming more AI proficient fastest, a lot of times I talk about this where up until 2024, I think we had to go out of our way to find AI, right? You had to go log on. You had to go log on to an account. You had to go into your browser, type something in, have an account. That's changing, right? Even the big name players, that's changing. ChatGPT, you do not even need an account anymore. You can literally just go to chatgpt.com and start using it like Google. You don't even need a paid account, right? So you can use the 3.5 version like that. You can use the GPT 4.0 version for free if you log in. But, we used to have to seek AI out. Not anymore. And I think that Microsoft Edge is such a great example of that, bringing all of these AI features inside of the browser that are going to be working there by default. All right. So here's some of the ways that I think you should be using it. And then we're going to be doing some of these things live. And for our live audience, I'd like some suggestions. We're going to get to this in a second, but it's Prime Day, right? So Amazon Prime Day. Let me know. We're going to show a business use case and we're going to show a personal use case. So let me know something that you're shopping for maybe on Amazon Prime Day. And I'm going to show you some cool ways that you can use Microsoft's Edge and the Copilot banner feature that we're going to go over. But here's how you should be using Edge. And I'm sorry, as much as I love Chrome, I don't see a reason to use Chrome. I don't see a reason to use Firefox. I don't see a reason to use Safari. I don't see a reason to use any of these other browsers unless there's a compatibility issue, right? Maybe a certain, software that you need to use for work is only compatible on certain browsers. Other than that, I don't see a reason right now on this day that you shouldn't be using Microsoft Edge. I'm actually shocked they don't have a larger percentage of the market. So here's why you should be using it. Faster research, much faster. More in-depth insights for whatever you are using it for. More innovative ways to even use the web, which is so important. And it's just more intuitive, a more intuitive way to use AI, right? That's the thing. You always want to have a low learning curve and you always want to be able to get high results without having to go out of your way. All right. So let's go ahead and look live. I'm going to go ahead and shout it out to our audience. Audience, what are you searching for here on Amazon Prime Day? I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Oh, great. Okay, so Monica has a great point here as I wait for your all suggestions on what we should be searching for here on Amazon Prime Day. Some of the things that I'm going to be showing you here live, you may not have access to all of them, depending on if your company has Microsoft 365 Copilot enabled. There might be certain features and functionality that might not look the exact same. Okay, so what I'm going to be sharing today live here, and I'm going to be walking our podcast audience through it. This is just the free version of Microsoft Copilot. I am not on a team account. I'm not on an enterprise account. So the things that you're going to see here might not be enabled. And if you see them and you're like, holy cow, I need this, but I don't have it on my work account right now, there's probably some data and privacy settings that you should be reaching out to your IT department and saying, hey, can we get these enabled? All right. So let's go ahead. Give me a second here. Let me share my screen and we're going to bring up Microsoft Edge. Bam, Prime Day. What are we shopping for, y'all? All right, and let me tell you why I'm doing this example. So if you follow Everyday AI, you'll hear yesterday that Amazon announced Rufus, which is an AI-powered shopping assistant. And I was like, that's kind of risky to literally unveil it the day before Amazon Prime Day, which is one of the biggest shopping days of the year. Kind of risky, but they only released it for the mobile app. Right. So right now I'm sharing my screen on my desktop. So I don't have this new AI powered shopping assistant, Rufus. All right. So I'm just left to go through my old school ways and look at a product page for a year. Right. And be like, oh, is this the right product for me? All right. So let's go ahead. Sorry. Let me see. All right. So Monica's saying a knife set. Jay is saying an iPad for college, external microphone for the Mac. All right, let's do this one. Let's do an external microphone for a Mac, right? All right, so let's do this. So I am sharing right now my screen in Amazon. So I'm just going to go to external microphone Mac. All right. So hopefully you guys should be able to see this. But you'll see here, even on my browser, I have all my Chrome extensions there. I'm going to go ahead and untoggle them so we can get more screen real estate, right? But I have all of my Chrome extensions, bookmarks, everything ready. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. You know what I'm going to do, though? I'm actually going to find a mic that I'm kind of familiar with. All right. Here's actually the old mic that I used to use. I think it's this one. Close enough. All right. So a Logitech Blue Yeti Nano. All right. So someone's searching for a microphone, an external microphone. Maybe, you have a lot of Zoom meetings at home and, you need to know the right microphone to use. All right. The bad thing is you can't even see all the kind of pop-ups that are coming in my browser, because what I just like is I have this thing here that popped up. I'm going to take a screenshot of it actually and share it with you so you can see what actually popped up on my browser here. So this Microsoft shopping extension, which I love, it just said lowest price in 3 months. Because, hey, the biggest thing on Prime Day, you see all these big sales and you're like, oh my gosh, this is the cheapest it's ever been. So it's a nice feature that Microsoft has right there. If you're not using Camel today, you need to do that, by the way. All right, enough about that. Let's just show you right now how this works and maybe why you should be using it. So if you're ever shopping for anything, I get analysis paralysis. I don't know about you. I always end up having like 30 tabs open and all these product pages. I mean, they're so long. There's so many details, right? There's all these details. I scroll down. There's all these related microphones. Then there's like a landing page for this microphone with all these photos. This is so much, right? Comparing USB microphones, similar items. There's these videos, right? There's essentially just way too much information on this page. And this is why I think the internet stinks. AI is better. All right. So here's what we're going to do. There's a magical little banner here in the upper right-hand corner of your browser. So maybe you didn't even know this existed. So this is the Copilot banner. Okay. So all I have to do is I just go click this. And here is where Edge beats everyone by far. I now have GPT-4 powered Microsoft Copilot that can work for me on any page. And that's why I said maybe one of the most powerful, use cases for you, especially if you're, quote unquote new, right? If you're not out there using as a power user, using ChatGPT for 5 hours a day or fine tuning large language models, right? If you're just more of a tinkerer or spending, maybe 30 minutes a day playing around with AI, this, I think, is one of the best use cases. All right. So the Copilot banner now, on the right-hand side of my page, I can speak with Copilot. It covers, for our podcast audience, it covers about a third of the page, maybe a little less. So maybe about 30% of the page. And then the rest of the page, I still have my normal here microphone that we're searching for. So a couple things, and some of these things are actually new and just came out last week. So there's actually some AI features built into Copilots out of the box, right? Because one thing I have is I have a default, which is going to be on whatever page you're on, that says generate page summary. Also, depending on what site you're on, it's going to essentially give you AI generated starter prompts. Okay. So it knows I'm on Amazon. So some examples it has are how to sell my own products on Amazon, how to compare different products on Amazon, right? Maybe pretty helpful. If you don't know, maybe I would click that, how to compare different products. All right. There's also different options down here for kind of how Copilot works. All right. So there's a more creative option. All right. So that, like it said, it's going to be more creative. There's a more precise and a balanced, right? So it depends on what you're using it for. Are you using it to help you write a blog post? Maybe you want to be more creative. Or if you're using it to brainstorm something, maybe you want to be more creative. For me, I might be more balanced right now, right? I want some creative. I want to creatively tap into Microsoft Copilot as a purchasing partner here to help me understand if this microphone is the best for me, Or maybe if you're doing research, something scholarly, maybe if you just really want factual, you don't want any creativity, then you have this more precise option here. Okay. I'm going to get into some of these other features that are in the Microsoft Copilot banner, but out of the box, that's what you need to know. There's going to be some kind of starter prompts or buttons that you can push. And then there's going to be different tones or conversational styles. So I'm going to go with more balance, and I'm just going to click Generate Page Summary. Okay. So what it's doing is it's just looking at this page. Like I said, this page, there's a lot of information. My gosh. I mean, this is like probably, I don't know, easily 10 to 30,000 words. This page is so much information. So now I just got a very high level overview of this entire page from Microsoft Copilot. So it's breaking it down. It says, here are the key points from the current page. Okay. It says, here's the product, Blue Yeti Nano powered USB microphone. Here's the features, right? Ideal for podcasting, YouTube productions, game streaming, etc. Functionality, built-in headphone output and volume control. And then it says design, compact and professional setup. Okay, cool. So now here's the thing, in a couple of nuances here that I'm going to point out. All right. And this is both a great thing and a potentially not great thing if you overlook this step. All right. So now I can conversationally talk to this page, which is great, right? Because let's call it out right now. You cannot do this in Anthropic Claude. You cannot do this in Google Gemini. And you can actually not do this by default in ChatGPT either. You have to use a specialized GPT. So you cannot do this out of the box anywhere else, right? Yes, there's so many Chrome extensions, this and that, but this is built in. This is built in to a browser, y'all. This is where you start your day. You start your day by clicking a browser. All right. So a couple of things that I want to point out. So now I can have a conversation with the web page, which is great, right? But something here. There's a little drop down here. So by default, it's usually going to go to using relevant sources, which I would actually, in this use case, tell you not to do. All right. So after you essentially generate a page summary, if I keep this option enabled, it's essentially going to default to normal Copilot, which means it's going to use the web. It's going to use its own internal knowledge base. It's going to use a little bit of everything, which can be hard to direct. It might go in directions you might not want it to go. So there's actually 3 different options. And depending on if you're using an enterprise version of Microsoft Copilot. So if you're in Edge right now following along, if you're on the live stream and you don't see this, reach out to your IT department and ask them to enable it. There's certain data and privacy settings that they're going to have to enable. So right now, my options are I can speak or talk to relevant sources. I can speak to this page only, or I can speak to this site. That one is brand new, and I'm going to show you a cool use case. So right now, I'm just going to click this page. So now this is great. So I'm going to say, please keep it short and give me the pros and cons of this mic. Bam, right? I don't need to spend time because here's the reality. Even when you think of Amazon and even if you think of Rufus, right? Amazon's goal is to sell you this no matter what, right? And people, same thing with reviews. So many reviews are incentivized and they may not say it. So by using a quote unquote unbiased third-party AI, I can just quickly chat. So it says, here's the pros. Good sound quality, it's versatile and user-friendly. The cons, limited stock and separate accessories. So it doesn't come with some of the accessories, right? So pretty cool. So now what I can do is I can go to relevant sources. I'm going to change this and I'm going to say, give me the most 3 comparable mics to this Blue Yeti Nano. I'm sorry, y'all. I hate typing live because my desk setup, I got my dinosaur arms and I can't really do it. Okay, so now you can see I'm using the outside web. And the good thing, which I love about Microsoft Copilot, ChatGPT is finally getting there. Perplexity's been there all along, but it's also sourcing things, right? Because you always worry about when you're using a large language model, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, etc. You're always like, well, is it making things up? the good thing here, when I toggle this back to use relevant sources, so I'm asking, all right, well, what else? What else about, mics should I be using? What are some other ones that are comparable to this? It's actually citing and sourcing it. So I can go down here and I can look at all the different sources that it's using. Okay. Another thing, you're not going to be able to hear this, but I can click read aloud. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll crank my volume and turn my mic, and maybe you can listen to this. So I'm going to click this read aloud button now. So this is built into Edge. Pretty cool, right? Accessibility features, fantastic. And maybe you just don't want to read. You just want to listen. So I'm going to click this read aloud button. Are you still running in circles trying to figure out how to actually grow your business with AI? Maybe your company has been tinkering with large language models for a year or more, but can't really get traction to find ROI on Gen AI. Hey, this is Jordan Wilson, host of this very podcast. Companies like Adobe, Microsoft, and NVIDIA have partnered with us because they trust our expertise in educating the masses around generative AI to get ahead. And some of the most innovative companies in the country hire us to help with their AI strategy and to train hundreds of their employees on how to use Gen AI. So whether you're looking for ChatGPT training for thousands or just need help building your front-end AI strategy, you can partner with us too, just like some of the biggest companies in the world do. Go to youreverydayai.com/partner to get in contact with our team, or you can just click on the partner section of our website. We'll help you stop running in those AI circles and help get your team ahead and build a straight path to ROI on Gen AI.
Here are 3 microphones comparable to the Blue Yeti Nano. Fifine K678 USB microphone offers similar sound quality to the Yeti Nano, but at a lower cost.
All right, so hopefully you guys could hear that. Let me know. But so some different options in here, right? So if you haven't used the Copilot banner before, you can like it, dislike it. So you're providing training essentially to the model, but also making your results better. You can copy the result. You can export it. So that's great, right? So you're always like, oh, it's going to take so much time, right? So if you're using this to outline a blog post or maybe help you write an email and there's this weird formatting, you can export it to Word, PDF, or plain text. And then you can also click the share button. So I can then share this exact same thing. And if someone opens this link in Microsoft Edge, they're going to see the exact same information that we just saw. All right. So that is Kathleen says this is pretty cool. Andrea says amazing. All right. Yeah. Let me know if this is helpful, y'all. I hope this really is. One little thing here. I can't get this to unselect. Little bug there. All right. So we're going to kick this back out and refresh this. That's fine. That's the end of this. So, all right, there's one example of how you could use it in your personal life, right? Like I'm much more quickly able to make purchasing decisions. Think of wherever you're spending time on, reading something, researching, analyzing, creating, right? That's the other thing. You can use the full power of Copilot right here, right? So I could just say, so again, I just have Copilot open and I'm going to use relevant sources and I'm going to say, make me a blog post outline on the top 10 microphones for Macs in 2024, right? So I can use the normal Copilot here, right? Like everything. I can use all of the features and capabilities of the free Microsoft Copilot. So the same thing that you would get if you go to microsoft.copilot.com, all of these features and functionalities are here. So this Copilot banner is not just a way to interact with the web page that you're on, which I think is the best use case and kind of the reason why I use it now every day, because I think this is such a time-saving way to use the internet. Y'all, we have to change our mindset, right? I tell so many people, getting the most out of AI and not getting left behind everyone else, sometimes it's changing good habits, right? Maybe you're great at pulling up a 40-page PDF in your browser and opening up some notes and quietly and in a very focused manner, spending an hour and a half reading that 40-page PDF and pulling out a couple of insights. You know, there's a couple of insights that are in there. You don't know where they are, right? And maybe that's been one of your strengths, right? You're great at going through long documents and grabbing information out for your team and then making outlines. You got to stop doing that. Stop working, right? Like right now, if you need information, you don't go to the library, right? Or traditionally over the last 20 years, if you need information, you don't use a lifeline like you're on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and start calling people to be like, oh, what's the best way to, what kind of knife set should I be buying? No, you research on the internet. And I think we need to go through that same mentality is we need to stop researching on the internet. We need to stop analyzing on the internet. We need to go AI first. And that's why I think Copilot here inside of the Microsoft Edge browser is such a great way to do this. So let's look at one more use case. All right. So I'm going to go on right here onto our website at youreverydayai.com. And y'all, I might have missed a couple of questions. If you do have any questions, please let them know. Please let me know. Jay, good question, saying what version of ChatGPT is Copilot leveraging? The free version uses GPT-4 Turbo, I believe. And the paid version uses GPT-4o. All right. So let's keep this thing going. And I'm going to show you a way to use this as well. So I'm going to go on our website, youreverydayai.com. So a lot of people don't know this, but you can go to this episodes page here or this all tracks and you can sort, right? So let's just say as an example, Microsoft, here we go. I can click Microsoft and I can see every single episode. There's probably hundreds where we've talked about Microsoft. Or let's say you care about entrepreneurship. I can click entrepreneurship and then get all of our episodes for entrepreneurship. All right. So as an example, let's say you're trying to learn something. You're on our website. So I'm going to click this episode that I did. When did I do this? Back in January. All right. So, and also FYI, if you're listening on the podcast, if you go on our website, now I can go, we have this full breakdown. Right? So I can listen to the whole podcast right here. All right, there's our podcast. I can scroll down here. I can watch the live stream. There's a lot of other notes. Like we spent a lot of time putting together after every single episode, a lot of, topics. We have the transcript, everything here. All right. So let's say as an example, you're doing some research like this, right? You're trying to learn the 5 simple steps to start using Gen AI in your business today. All right. So what can I do? I can launch Copilot here. All right. So I'm going to start. Okay, so I like what Copilot did here. Here it said, suggest questions about this page. I'm going to go to precise and I'm going to go ahead and click that. So now it's going to give me different questions. Remember when I said this is going to change how you browse, change how you use the internet, change how you learn? Well, it's giving me suggested questions, right? What should I be thinking about? What should I be learning when it comes to this specific page? All right, so I'm going to go up here though. I'm going to click generate page summary. And I'm going to show you a couple of things. One thing to always look out for, always keep in mind, is check how the banner inside of Microsoft Edge and Copilot is using the page summary. Is it using, again, 3 different options: relevant sources, this page, or this site. So right now it's using relevant sources, but I can see right here that it's only using this page as a source. All right. So you can always click this right here and see what sources that it's using, similar to Perplexity, right? It's giving me my citations, but I do see it pulled in one outside thing that's not on this page, right? So I can click this. All right. So it's actually pulling something from the transcript here. Okay. This is actually pretty impressive. All right. So in this podcast, I reference a McKinsey & Company research report about how generative AI may automate work activities that absorb up to 70% of employees' time. So what it did here, which is pretty impressive. All right, it's currently not working, but it looks like it was bringing this out to an outside source. It's not working right now, but I'm going to show you different ways that can work. All right. So now I have a page, and let's just say, Jordan, this is great, but I don't really have the time to read through this right now, this long transcript, or listen to this podcast. I'm just interested. So I can go ahead and click this page only. And I'm going to say, please give me the 5 simple steps mentioned on this page. Please keep it short and succinct. All right. Large language models always like to be verbose. They're like that friend that just likes to talk too much. Maybe that's me. All right. So I'm telling it, just summarize this page. Just give me the 5 steps. I don't have time to listen to Jordan's long podcast today. I just want to know what the 5 steps are. And there they are. Gather insights, create guidelines, get your first AI project, start with a small measurable project, invest in training, and plan for the future. That's great, right? So now what I can do is now I'm going to toggle, and I'm going to go to relevant sources, and I'm going to say, based on those 5 steps, I'm going to say, please give me an outline on how I can implement each step at my company. And I'm going to say, please keep it succinct and focus only on information from 2024. All right. So now what we're doing, again, do you see how this is changing the way that you search the internet? And you might not need to open 30 tabs, because I can pull out the best insights from this page using the Microsoft Copilot banner inside of Edge. Now I can continue to do research across the web related to the insights that I pulled here, but without ever leaving, right? So now it's pulling in. Okay, so I did say keep it short. So I'm gonna change this. So if you didn't know, at any time you can hover over a prompt, you can click edit, and that's essentially going to erase the answer from view. So I'm going to take away the part where I said, please keep it succinct. And I'm going to say, instead, let's see if we can get this here. All right. For whatever reason, normally this works. This is the internet, y'all. I swear the internet and live stream tech hates me. All right. So I'm going to try something else here. Oh, okay. When you edit, sorry, I forgot on Copilot, they changed this a couple months ago. When you edit, it actually goes down to the bottom. So I'm going to say, based on these 5 steps, please give me an outline on how I can implement each step at my company. And I'm going to say, please research this extensively from a variety of sources. All right. So now, hopefully what we'll see, there we go, because I'm using relevant sources. So now it's searching the web. So it's taking into account the information that I had on page. So let's say you read something or you're listening to an old episode on our website and you're like, that's great. Let me do some more research. You don't have to leave. You can keep it easy, keep it simple. And so now what we're doing, here we go, is it's also citing, right? It's citing all the different websites that it's using to give me these answers. So it looks like it went to 6 different sources. It went to a Forbes article, a couple YouTube videos, a ZDNet article on 3 ways to accelerate generative AI implementation in 2024. And then it went to that earlier, what I was referencing, it went to that actual study that I was talking about in the transcript of the podcast. I mean, that's pretty freaking impressive if you ask me. It is bringing in highly relevant information without ever leaving the page. That's what I love. Y'all, I don't think we realize as humans how much time we spend wasting on the internet. There's a reason why the internet is free. There's a reason why social media is free. What's the reason? Well, because we are the product, right? The internet knows that we are going to open 50 tabs. We're going to be on Amazon and click something else. We're going to be on a website, click a banner ad, and all of a sudden we were, researching something that was timely and we needed to get done for a project. And now we're planning a vacation, right? Because we see all these ads, right? We see all these distractions. Y'all, this changes the way we use the internet with an AI first or an AI native approach baked into Edge. Love to see it. All right, let me show you as we get ready to wrap up. Let me show you one other feature. And there's so many features that I could go over right now in Microsoft Edge in the Copilot banner that I don't have time, but let me just quickly highlight them. So I talked about a lot of these things, but you can also upload an image right here. in this. You can add a screenshot. You can use your microphone, so you don't even have to type. Also, you can use DALL-E 3 right here in the banner, right? I'm not a huge fan of DALL-E 3. Presumably, it's going to get better when and if the GPT-4 or GPT Next or GPT Strawberry, whatever you want to say. Presumably, we're going to get Sora level quality out of our images. Right now, though, if you need to, get a basic graphic for a blog post, you can do that with DALL-E right here in the Edge sidebar. But let me pull out just one last thing as we wrap up the show. And I think this one's very important. And I'm going to go ahead and refresh my my Edge banner here. And what that means is it just cleans the context. All right, let me show you the last thing. And again, I'm sorry if you're on an enterprise account where you're logging into Edge, right, which has its pros and its cons. But one of the things is you aren't going to have all these features. And this feature is probably one of my favorites. I did a dedicated video last week just on this when it was announced. So this is a newer feature. So the third one that I didn't show you in this drop down of being able to chat with a web page is using this site, which is awesome, right? So essentially, you can even try this in Copilot and it doesn't work. You go to copilot.microsoft.com and you say, as an example, give me the 10 best AI tools, only use the site youreverydayai.com. It won't. It's going to pull in information from other sources. But if you use the Copilot banner here and choose this option, it's going to work. So now, okay, let's just say, one of these steps was about, using ChatGPT as an example. So now I'm going to say, if there's someone you trust, maybe like us at Everyday AI. So I'm going to say, please give me 10 tips on the best ways to use large language models. All right. So now what's going to happen, hopefully, Edge, is we're going to get those tips, but only from this website. And you might ask why? Well, y'all, we have probably more than 1,000 pages right now, pages and posts on our website. So this is a quick way that you can interact with just one website that you're on. So the example earlier, the same thing. You could do this just for Amazon.com, or maybe you're on an industry site that you use a lot. And maybe if you're, before this feature was available, maybe it was pulling in information that wasn't relevant. Y'all, this is a way, if you are constantly on certain websites continually for your work, you need to be using this right now. This feature alone is going to save you an insane amount of time, especially if there are certain websites that you visit every single week. And if you spend multiple hours, right? We need to change the way that we work with these websites. All right, let's see if it did it correctly here. All right, it did. Yay. Okay. So it found three different pages to bring these 10 different sources, right? So I'll quickly read these. So the 10 tips that it pulled, that Microsoft Copilot pulled from our website across multiple pages: understanding the knowledge cutoff, number 1. Number 2, use public data. Number 3, focus on measurable impact. Number 4, minimize AI risk. Number 5, invest in education and training. Number 6, unlearn old habits. That sounds familiar. It's like it's listening to me. Number 7, create straightforward guidelines and guardrails. Number 8, gather insights from a ground up committee. Number 9, sprint toward your first measurable AI project. And number 10, make AI sound more human. Those are all great examples, right? So there's more information. I can read more about those 10. But here's the other thing that I love. I love this about Edge and using this in the browser, right? Okay, if I go down to the bottom, you'll see here's the 3 different pages. So it took it from episode 153, episode 311, and I'm not sure which episode this is. This is maybe just a blog post on our website. All right, so this is great. So let's say I'm interested in how to make AI sound more human. Okay, that's cool. So let me go ahead and click this. So now, live audience, watch what happens on my screen here. So now it goes to this new page. All right, so it opened that. It's actually episode 75. Now I think I can do this. Let's see. Okay, it just reopens it. I thought it highlighted it, but that's only when you ask questions of that page, I believe. All right, but you'll just see right there, that alone, just knowing these drop downs here and relevant sources, which is being able to talk to anything on the web, talking to one specific page and one specific website, just that alone right there is going to give you faster, better research, the ability to learn better. I mean, think of even that example, right? That you're reading a long PDF, right? Even these pages on our site are really long. We put a lot of in-depth content on here. We spend a lot of time helping you all learn AI. Maybe it's too much. Maybe you don't want that much. That's fine. We also have our transcripts on here as well. It's a lot of information. This can save you a lot of time. So I keep thinking back, right? And I used to do this all the time. Literally, I would spend an entire day, right? I used to work a lot with Nike and Jordan brand. Literally, so much of my work is I would be reading long Nike impact reports. They were these PDFs. They had a lot of them all across different sectors. I literally remember weeks of my life where I would spend almost every single minute of the working day reading different long PDFs and taking notes, because not all of the information in these hundreds or thousands of pages of PDFs was relevant to me. I can open that PDF in Edge, right? Then I can have it summarize it in one click. Then I can pull in other relevant sources of information with one simple prompt and stay on that page and stay focused. I can have it create an outline. I can have it just pull the information I need. I can have it pull information just from that site, so I make sure that it's all relevant and I don't have to worry about hallucinations. Y'all, do you see now? Yeah, we're getting into the Hot Take Tuesday. This is how you should be using the web right now. It starts with your browser. And at least right now, I don't see any reason to use anything else aside from Microsoft Edge. All right, y'all. I hope that was helpful. If I missed any of your comments today, I apologize. A lot of times we go through and we do this live. But if this was helpful, let me know. Go ahead and tag someone, maybe tag that IT person and be like, yo, can you change this setting so I can use all of these great features and start saving time? Stop wasting time, y'all. It starts with your browser. If this show was helpful, let me know. Leave me a comment, repost this, share this with your friends. But more importantly, go to youreverydayai.com. Sign up for that free daily newsletter. We appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you back tomorrow and every day for more Everyday AI. Thanks, y'all.
And that's a wrap for today's edition of Everyday AI. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a rating. It helps keep us going. For a little more AI magic, visit youreverydayai.com and sign up to our daily newsletter so you don't get left behind. Go break some barriers, and we'll see you next time.